Hi everyone, my name is Alana and welcome to my channel, which is 3 Degrees of Love. So, like I said, I've always been a spiritual person, but I would say that things for me have sort of been, for the most part, were very limiting. And religion has always been something that I've been surrounded by, and has always sort of been, I feel, has always sort of been something that was pushed upon me, and but not something I really fully connected with. So, not to say that I don't, like, I would, like, if you ask me, I would to this day I would still say and identify as a Christian, very much so. But with respect to religion and spirituality, I see those things as being very closely related, but still being sort of two separate entities. And the part of me that I'm more focused on is the spiritual aspect, the embodiment of spirituality, and what that means, and what that means for me, and what that looks like. That's more of the part that has my focus, as opposed to the religious aspect. Now, nothing wrong with those who choose to be that, but I've come to realize that that's not for me, for many reasons. That is a total different, discussion altogether from now. But yeah, I would say that, even over the course of this past year has really launched that. There are things that I would say that have been known to me, to a certain degree, but how I view it is like looking up and it at a glass ceiling, right? I knew that there was something beyond my then knowledge or level of knowledge, but never thought that I could access it or knew how to, or whatever the story was. But I would say, when I talk about, the awakening, the sort of ascension that I've, been experiencing, I feel like that has allowed me to break through that glass ceiling, and to further dive into my spirituality, and wanting to seek, further knowledge and more of a deeper, richer connection. And over the course of that, I would say that, through my research, through my continuous reflection, because, stuck inside, what else am I going to do? I mean, there's only so much YouTube and TV I can watch, right? So, and like I said, my brain doesn't really shut off. So, yeah. But, over, like I said, over the course of my my reflection, my research, my observations of others, and learning from them and stuff like that, I really have come to a particular revelation of sorts on me and how I see life and human existence. And over the course of many years and reflecting upon that, this is what I've come up with. So, regardless of what I have been through, I have decided for myself that I will never let what has happened to me, what I've experienced, change who I am and know myself to be to my very core. Which, again, more recently have really embraced and recognized exactly what that was and be able to label it and claim it. And that is me being love. I am love. I embody love. I am a being of love. And I am put here on this earth to share that and embrace it and be it. I mean, after all, you know, like I said, I kind of already knew that, right? Because I chose the profession of social work and being a person of service to others. You know, that's something that I hold near and dear to me, and, you know, has always strived at being successful at. And even though I've hit bumps, you know, and things along the way, you know, in through with employment in the field, it has never changed my vision or drive to embrace that and to continue to do that. And I see that when anyone has been through a lot of pain and hurt and suffering, and you refuse to let that change you, it takes a great amount of strength. And I have now recognized that about myself, that, you know, what I've always been led to believe and feel, and, you know, sort of taught that was, you know, weakness. It's not weakness. Hell no. It takes a damn hell of a strength to continue being your authentic self in spite of everything that has been thrown at you negatively. An unbelievable amount of strength. It is so easy to give in to the negativity and surrender to it and allow that to change you and shut you down and you know, sort of being a victim and of circumstance. You really, when you allow that to happen, you are really doing a disservice to yourself and others, because you're robbing yourself of opportunities to connect and, you know, with people and, you know, positive situations and things like that and experiences. You know, not only are you robbing yourself of wonderful opportunities, but you're also doing a disservice to others when you do that, because you're robbing them of the brilliant aspects of who you are. And you shut down any opportunity of experiencing goodness when you do that. You know, I see being able to relate to others in a positive and respectful manner is the only way for us to grow in unity. The way that I see we interact with each other on an individual basis is something that speaks to who we are as a whole, who we are as a collective. And to me, everything that is currently wrong in life, that is currently wrong with society, is a direct reflection of how we have chosen to allow our negative experiences influence our interactions with others. This tit for tat mentality that so many of us have adapted to as a form of protection is actually what is ultimately hurting us. You know, you can't fight evil with evil. All that does is cultivate more evil. Excuse me. Feeding into, the negativity of one just gives room for darkness to grow, creating a stronger force to be reckoned with later on that will last for generations to come. That has lasted for generations. Many of us, throughout our existence have been living in this constant karmic cycle of negativity, just over and over and over again. Just hurt, pain, again and again. And the idea of world peace can never be achieved when that's how we are. It will always be an unattainable illusion. Wars, massacres, world destruction is all a product of our inflated egos. This self-entitled way of thinking in which we are is just negatively contagious. Justice isn't ours to attain. It's not for us to decide who and when it's to be delivered. It's not up to us to who deserves, punishment. That's not our choice to make. When we do that, what happens? It comes right back around to bite us behind. And so it will continue. Like I said, that karmic cycle, right? A cycle of negativity just going round and round and round. It's the natural law of things, It's a way to balance the scales, And I heard once on someone's YouTube video that, what was her name? Christina Lopes, the Heart Alchemist. And she basically described karma as being something that is basically the God, the universe, a natural way of showing us exactly who we are, a reflection of ourselves. And so when we do good, the good returns to us. We are rewarded with good. When we do bad, then bad is what we get in return. I really like the way that she put it. And, you know, it's exactly that. When we, you know, when we endure pain and suffering and, you know, someone wrongs us or whatever, I would sure most of the time, you know, it's a reaction. We react to certain things. We're human, right? So we don't always set out to hurt others. Sometimes because we have a difference of opinion, because we're all different and we're all unique. You know, what someone likes, somebody else is going to dislike. You know, what is okay with one person may not be okay with the next. And sometimes we fail at recognizing that. You know, we're not perfect. We don't, you know, it's not always about seeking out, you know, to ultimately hurt people. But there are people who do, in fact, seek out to hurt others. And a lot of the time, it's usually a response to whatever pain they've endured. Now, I'll tell you right now, you know, it's not right. As I say, 2 wrongs don't make a right, right? Exactly. And if you do me, then I do you, then you're going to do me again, and it's just going to continue until nobody remembers why it started or what happened. All we know is that wrong was done, so wrong has to be returned to wrong. And then it just continues and festers and cycles and cycles and cycles. And then generations later, and we're still going through the same thing. Why? You can't fight evil with evil. You just create more evil. Look at me, come on. Have you ever taken to an experiment? I've done this as a kid, you know. And it was funny the other day as I was sort of, you know, thinking about things, it came to me. Have you ever taken 2 magnets and put the opposites, not the opposites, the same side of each other together? 2 negatives. You put the 2 negatives together and you try to force it together. Does it ever go together? No. What happens? The force of those 2 repels each other. They push against each other. And no matter how much you try to force those 2 together, they will never connect. The other will always repel. And the more you force it, the more it repels. And the stronger the force of it repelling becomes. Well, that's exactly life. That's exactly humanity. We'll never connect if we keep fighting evil with evil. You just create more evil and separate us, and we become further and further apart from each other. More disconnected. When you hurt someone else, you're ultimately hurting yourself, because we're all connected. We're all connected in the way of spirit. We're the same. We are human. We all have the same 2 eyes. Well, maybe not the same 2 eyes, but you know what I mean. We both have those essential parts in the amount of essential parts that we're supposed to have, relatively speaking. Right? I mean, we all have different backgrounds. We all have different life experiences, but essentially what we are to our core is exactly the same. So, you hurt me, well, you're going to hurt you too. So, you know, I know that a lot of the time when we are hurting, it's very natural to want to feel better and get an immediate sense of relief or gratification, relief of pain. And so a lot of the time we react by, well, by thinking, well, since I'm hurting and you hurt me, well, I'm just going to hurt you in return. But ultimately, that doesn't fix anything. It just, like I said, just makes things worse and inflicts more pain that eventually comes right back onto you. So why? The gratification that we ultimately seek is usually just temporary and an illusion. And the impact of the pain that it causes is sometimes not only life lasting, but lingers for generations moving forward. And those, who come after us then have to endure that same pain without necessarily knowing why. Why? Really, why? Pain, unfortunately, is a necessary part of life. It's just naturally how it is. And unfortunately is inevitable. Like I said, we are all different. And, what we think is okay or what's okay for us may not be okay for someone else. And, when it's not okay, they get hurt, right? We get hurt when something that's okay for someone isn't okay for us. We end up getting hurt. That's not a reason to inflict pain. What that is an opportunity to learn about yourself, to learn about others, to grow and turn that negativity into something positive by applying the lessons learned from that situation to future situations. So things don't have to happen, or you can help others learn how to navigate, similar situations. And that's ultimately sort of, what I see for this chapter of my life, and what I think that all the pain that I've endured, as unfortunate as it was, and isn't easy for me to say or necessarily admit to, it's a gift. I mean, it was a test. It's really giving me the opportunity to learn just how strong I am, how resilient I am, and how smart I am. Because I can take all of that and channel it into bringing positivity to others, to give to others, to teach others, to be empathetic, to show compassion. All of these things are skills that sort of have developed, that I've been able to grow into and have developed because of the pain that I've endured. And so, with that being said, I wish you well, and I encourage you to live, listen, and learn. Take care, everyone. Love you.